Let's call it a battle of premium smartphones. Today we compare the 4 leading smartphones from leading brands, including the LG Optimus G2 from LG, which is the leading smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S4, the Sony Xperia Z1 and the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. We'll compare each of them with each other and see which one is the best for you. We'll also show you the best features of all these 4 phones. Let's get started. Let's start with the price of these phones. So if you are wondering in which order I have arranged them, the first one, LG G2, retails at around 38,000 rupees in India. The Samsung Galaxy S4 retails at around 40,000, the Xperia Z1 at 42,000 and the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 at around 48,000. These are the best prices that you get as we make this video. The prices may change over time, but there is a small difference in the prices of these phones, typically between rupees 38,000 to around 48,000, which is approximately $800 to $900. Talking of the size and form factor, the Samsung Galaxy S4 is the slimmest of the lot at 7.9mm, just under 8mm, and the thickest is the LG G2 at 8.9mm, which is most likely because the buttons at the back, which is a new kind of placement, increase the height by a millimeter or two. And then we have the Sony Xperia Z, which has a thickness of 8.5mm, followed by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, which is around 8.3mm thick. So all these devices are under 9mm, are fairly slim and fairly handy. Talking of the screen size, the first 3 devices have a smaller screen at 5 inches compared to the Note 3, which has a larger screen of 5.7 inches. They all have full high definition 1080p displays and they all look very good. I have put the same display wallpaper on all 4 devices so that you can compare the colors. All these 4 are at their maximum brightness level, so you can see the colors come out to be really vibrant on the G2 as well as the S4, and the other 2 displays also look good, but we find the G2 and S4 to be best when it comes to color quality. Let me quickly show you the build of all these 4 devices one by one, and then we'll talk about the specification, features and performance. The LG G2 is made up of high quality plastic materials, has a glossy finish, the back does not come off, and there is a SIM card slot right here. On the top you have secondary mic for noise cancellation. There is an infrared blaster which can be used for using this phone as a remote control. Interestingly, there are no keys on the right or left. All the keys are placed here. This is the power or wake up key in the middle, and the volume rocker, which is right here just above and below. This is placed just below the camera module here. There is LG branding. At the bottom you have standard 3.5mm audio jack, followed by 2 speaker grills and a micro USB port for charging as well as data transfer. There is no front facing key as well. There is a front facing camera. To wake up this phone you can double tap on the screen and you can just unlock it. Talking of the Samsung Galaxy S4, it is very conventional Samsung design with a lot of premium use of materials like the metal all around. The back is glossy, comes with texture again, and there is a camera module at the back, speaker grill, standard micro USB port at the bottom, primary microphone hole at the bottom, a power or wake up key at the right, a volume rocker at the left. The back comes off. There is a battery, SIM card slot as well as micro SD card slot here. There is no memory expansion slot in the LG G2. It comes in 16GB and 32GB variants. Talking of the Sony Xperia Z1, this is again a flagship device from Sony. This is the next version of after the Xperia Z, and the best feature of this phone is that this is totally dust resistant and water resistant. It can do what the other competitors are not capable of doing. Let me just demonstrate it to you. We have a ball of water just right here, and the Sony Xperia Z1, it still works. As you can see, this phone is still working and you can use this phone even underwater. This is totally water resistant and dust resistant. It has all the ports on the exteriors which are concealed, so there are flaps on the micro SD card slot, on the micro USB charging slot and the other SIM card slots. There is a 3.5mm audio jack which is insulated from the inside. This is totally dust resistant and water resistant. Next, coming up to the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, it comes with one of the very distinct features, which is the stylus or S Pen. This S Pen gives it the extra functionality that you would require from a Note device, which is the Samsung Galaxy Note series popular for. You can do a lot of functionality. Check out the tips and tricks video of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 provided in the description below. Next up, let's test the camera capabilities of these two devices. Let me quickly brief you about the cameras on these devices. The LG G2 comes with a 13 megapixel rear camera with a 2.1 megapixel front camera. The Samsung Galaxy S4 also has a 13 megapixel rear camera, whereas the Sony Xperia Z1 is the mightiest camera. It has 20.7 megapixel G sensor camera, and there is a 13 megapixel camera on the Note as well. There is an object right in front of us, and we have clicked a picture of the same object from the same angle with all the four phones, one by one, without flash. This is indoor picture with good quality of light over here, and you can see the picture quality and compare the picture quality on all these four phones. The quality and the display and the color and the sharpness on the LG G2, which is right here on the top, and the Samsung Galaxy S4, they both come out to be very clear and very close to the natural object, as you can see, which is placed right here in front of you. And when it comes to the Sony Xperia Z1, the clarity is also very good and the details are also nice, but the kind of color quality being shown on this display is very different from the color that we see on other three devices here. Let me put them side by side, and as you can see, this red background looks kind of pink. This may be because of the display properties on which the colors are optimized on the Sony Xperia Z1, or it may be because of the transparent waterproof film which is on the display of the Sony Xperia Z1 to make it waterproof. All in all the cameras do a really good job, with the Samsung Galaxy S4 and Note 3 very close and very similar, probably because they use the same camera sensor, with the LG G2 also producing very good results. So all these phones produce very good pictures when it comes to picture quality and color reproduction, with the Xperia Z1 giving slightly different and unnatural results. There is front facing 2 megapixel camera on all these phones, which is good enough for a video conferencing or video calling. When it comes to specifications, these four phones are also very different. The LG G2 is powered by a 2.26 GHz quad-core Snapdragon Crate processor, has an impressive score of 35,991 on Antutu benchmark. It has 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB and 32 GB internal memory on different variants, and the internal memory is fixed. You cannot add a micro SD card to expand the capacity. There is no micro SD card slot when it comes to LG G2. Coming to the Samsung Galaxy S4, which is oldest of these four phones, gives an Antutu score of 24,687. The version we use here is the Exynos variant. It comes with two quad-core processor, 1.6 GHz and 1.2 GHz. At its maximum performance, the 1.6 quad core comes into play and gives us a score of 24,687. It uses 2 GB of RAM. There is 16 and 32 GB internal memory, and you also get an memory expansion card slot on this phone, so you can expand the internal memory by adding a micro SD card to it. Talking of the Sony Xperia Z1, the Antutu score comes out to be impressive 34,339, which is very close to what we get on the Note 3 as well. This phone is also powered by 2.2 GHz Qualcomm Crate processor with Snapdragon 800 chipset, 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB internal memory. There is a micro SD card slot with which you can expand the memory by further adding a card of up to 64 GB to the Sony Xperia Z1. Coming to the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, it gives an Antutu score of 34,397, which is among the highest that we get. The highest score overall we get on the LG G2. I'll quickly show you a comparison between all these. So the highest score is 35,991, followed by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, then by Sony Xperia Z1. These two are really close. Then the last one is the Samsung Galaxy S4. So the most powerful device as per the benchmarks is the LG G2, and the least powerful is the Samsung Galaxy S4. The Samsung Galaxy Note 3 that we have here is the Exynos variant and is powered by two quad-core chipsets, the 1.9 GHz and 1.6 GHz. At its highest performance, it uses the 1.9 GHz quad-core chipset with 3 GB of RAM. So it has the highest RAM among all these four devices, and it comes in different internal memory variants and also has a micro SD card slot, so you can expand the memory on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 if you want to. So out of these four devices, there is no expandable memory on the LG G2, while all other three devices support expandable memory. Talking of the battery, the LG G2 has non-removable concealed battery of 3000 mAh and it's a lithium polymer battery, so it gives a good battery backup compared to 2600 mAh lithium ion battery on the Samsung Galaxy S4, which is the lowest of these four. The Sony Xperia Z1 has a 3000 mAh battery and it's again a lithium ion battery, followed by a 3200 mAh, which is the largest of the lot battery, which is a lithium ion battery on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. So coming to the battery performance, the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 gives the best battery output among all these four phones, and in terms of battery capacity, it also has the best battery capacity, followed by the G2 and Sony Xperia Z1, and then followed by the Samsung Galaxy S4, which has the least battery at 2600 mAh. So if you're looking for high battery life, you can consider these three phones, which are the LG G2, Sony Xperia Z1 and Note 3 for the best battery life. If battery life is your first concern, I would not recommend the Samsung Galaxy S4. Let's see how these four phones run the Nina Mark II benchmark, and let's see how the graphics benchmarks on these four come out to be. So as you can see, all these phones are fairly good when it comes to graphics rendering. They all give a score of 59 to 60 frames per second at full high definition displays. They all come equipped with high-end graphics processors. So these four phones will not disappoint you when it comes to gaming performance. We have played heavy games like the Asphalt 8, the Modern Combat 4 and some other games on these devices. You can see the gaming reviews of all these four phones on our channel. Now let's talk about some interesting and useful features on each of these phones which they have on the offer, which make them unique. This LG G2 comes with a very unique design where the buttons are placed at the back, which is a very new and intuitive way of using the phone. You can use your index finger to lock or unlock the screen, and you can use your index finger at the back to increase or decrease the volume. This button is very different and has been placed at the back. This phone is the most powerful of the lot, gives a very nice and refreshing user interface. The display is very crisp and it feels very sturdy in the hand. The LG devices that we have used, the LG G2 and the LG G Optimus G Pro, they run very nice and smooth and are a powerhouse. They are very good when it comes to gaming as well as display. Coming to the Samsung Galaxy S4, this is a very sleek phone, one of the slimmest that we have seen in this comparison, and it gives good performance. It tends to get heated when you use high performance games and high performance apps on this phone. It gives good overall camera and performance in a very lightweight package, but the battery life on this phone is not very impressive. Otherwise, it performs really well. The Samsung TouchWiz UI is really nicely customized and makes the usability of this phone even better. Coming to the Sony Xperia Z1, we have already showed you what this is capable of. Apart from offering the same kind of performance that other three phones offer, this phone is equipped to handle the underwater condition, is equipped to handle the bashing much better. It has a shatterproof glass, a more sturdy display. There is a dedicated camera key, you have metallic keys. So in terms of build and in terms of quality, the Sony Xperia Z1 is better equipped. Also with the 21 megapixel G lens camera at the back, it is capable of doing things which other phones may not do with the low light conditions. Talking of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, which I really like, this phone is actually capable of giving you a large screen experience in a compact form factor. If you notice closely, these phones do not vary largely on the exterior size, the smallest being the S4 and the largest being the Note 3. There is not much difference in the exterior dimensions. With very slim bezels, Note 3 is capable of providing larger screen area with full high definition, very rich colors with the Super AMOLED display, and you get the stylus, which is the S Pen stylus with air command functionalities, which gives you a lot of functionalities when it comes to using the smartphone in a very different way. It takes the usage to another dimension using the S Pen stylus, and it gives good camera and overall feel. I find the phone to be very good with the special large battery and a nice textured back. Summing up our comparison of the LG G2, Samsung Galaxy S4, the Sony Xperia Z1 and the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, we find that all these phones are very capable when it comes to gaming as well as performance. But if you are looking for a high performance phone, you should probably go for the LG G2. But if you are looking for a sturdy, shatterproof and waterproof phone, the Sony Xperia Z1 is the best choice. Also, when it comes to low light imaging, the 21 megapixel camera on the Sony Xperia Z1 is the better of the lot. But when it comes to overall productivity and business usage, the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 may give you the best battery as well as the best features when it comes to the stylus usage. If you're looking for a really sleek and handy phone, the Samsung Galaxy S4 will fit your needs better. But let me warn you again, it has the lowest battery life among all these four phones. This is all we have on a detailed comparison of the LG G2, S4, Xperia Z1 and Note 3. We hope you like our video. Please press the like button below for more such videos. Stay subscribed by pressing the subscribe button. This is your host Rohit Khurana signing off. Thanks for watching.